Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Shifts and Bucks podcast. Flames Canucks a recap. A game at Rogers Arena where the Calgary Flames defeated the Vancouver Canucks 5-2. The Flames win their third in a row, and the Canucks lose their third in a row. So, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio. Let's go through the game here. Then we'll talk about the winners, the Flames. We'll talk about the losers, the Canucks, through this. And of course, like and subscribe the video as well, and tell your friends. But let's start here. It actually started early, the scoring in this one, and the first shot on goal for the Canucks went in. Rasmus Anderson, who did blame himself after the game, uh, made a weird pitch. And Kevin Ball, I don't know what he was doing on that play, but Philip Roenick went in. He scores the 1 minute and 5 seconds in from Jake DeBrusk, and the Canucks are off to a good start. They're up to 1-0 lead. But the Flames get 2 goals within 41 seconds. Morgan Frost shoots one. It goes off Lankinen's pad and in. I think Lankinen. Didn't think Kevin Lankinen had a good game, by the way. And I think 5 goals on 21 shots would prove that. But this was one he should have had. It was from Rasmus Anderson and Matt Coronado. Morgan Frost has been quietly a very good player for the Flames. I don't think he's getting enough credit, but that line of Frost, Coronado, and Huberdeau are playing very well. So that ties the game at 1. And then if you heard a piano fall on the ice at Rogers Arena, that was from Connor Zary. As he found his way, went to the net. Backlund and Coleman were on the assist. It was Zary's second goal of the year, and both of his goals this year have been against the Vancouver Canucks. He hasn't scored against anybody else. But the Flames in the first period leading 2-1. Now, you could argue that the Canucks had the territorial advantage, and you would probably be right. But I didn't really feel like the Canucks put a heck of a lot of pressure on the Flames. I felt like the Flames were still able to keep them into the outside for the most part, and came away 2-1. Then it's 2-1 for a while, and then at 10:37, Kevin Ball finds the back of the net. I again didn't like this goal from Kevin Lankinen. This was from Kadri and Anderson. It looked like some thought Joel Farabee may have knocked it in. Doesn't matter. It is 3-1 for the Flames. And then Yegor Sharangovich, who's been playing a little bit better lately, gets a Flames fourth goal from Anderson and Kadri. And the Flames go into the third period up 4-1. And they really, the first half of the second period, Dave Thomas was talking about the Flames need to get their forecheck together. And once they kind of did, like the Canucks were kind of in control a little bit in the start of the second period. But again, they weren't really getting a lot of shots. They outshot the Flames 14-7 in the first period. And really after the first half of the second period, I think they only had 2 shots. And they kind of let the Flames kind of regain their footing after a tough start to the second period. And so the Flames come away with the 4-1 lead into the third period. And then at 7:59 of the third, Jonathan Huberdeau takes a penalty at 7:41. So the Canucks are on the power play, trying to get back into the game. Brock Besser makes an odd pass. Michael Backlund intercepts it. Backlund's able to throw it in front, shorthanded, and Blake Coleman one-hands it in, gets by Pettersson, EP40, and it is 5-1 at that point in time with Coleman's 8 shorthanded. He's got both shorthanded goals for the Flames. Didn't think it was a good play for Besser. Didn't like the play from Pettersson. It was just really odd. And then Quinn Hughes kind of just went on orbit here. He takes the puck from behind his net. Kevin Lankinen just leaves it for him. He goes end to end, and it was the second time he did this in this game, but this was the one that went in. He gets his own rebound, and it's 5-2. The Canucks do get another opportunity late on the power play when Blake Coleman takes a tripping penalty. But yeah, this was pretty much that was pretty much it. The Flames win 5-2. Let's talk about the Flames for a moment here. And there's a few other things I didn't get to touch on in this game. First of all, great effort from Rasmus Andersson. He was named the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. He's been playing some really good hockey the last little while. He's had a couple of tough games, but most part he's been back to the Rasmus Andersson that we've been known. He 3 assists plus 4, 24 minutes. Just a really good effort. Him and Kevin Ball. I don't think I Blake Coleman has also been playing really well this year. Um, Him and Backlund continue to just provide consistency. I think it's helping Connor Zary's game because I actually felt if Connor Zary is starting to play a little bit better, and Coleman gets the shorthanded goal, he gets the assist, he gets 2 points. I think Dustin Wolf probably would have wanted both of the goals back that were scored, but I thought Dustin Wolf, for the most part, was really solid, especially when the Canucks were trying to get back into the game. He makes a couple of key saves on Mackenzie McEachran specifically, Connor Garland late as well. Kept the Canucks out of the game when they did try to get some chances. Um, I, I think for me, I think what I'm seeing from Dustin Wolf for the most part is I think he feels he has to win the game 1-0 because the Flames offensively haven't been great this year. Although the last 3 games they have been a lot better. I think now, if the Flames are starting to score a little bit more offensively, that I think might help Dustin Wolf a little bit more. We're starting to see that. Jan Kuznetsov continues to impress. Another 20 minutes tonight. Played his 10th game. I don't think he's going down. I think I think he's found a spot on this roster. And John Beecher, I thought looked a little bit more comfortable at the center ice position than left wing, but I also think, to be fair to John Beecher, he's played 3 games with this team. He's still getting used to the team and the organization. Yeah, I don't. He like you think about this with John Beecher, he probably doesn't really have a place to kind of lay his hat yet in Calgary after being claimed on waivers earlier this week from Boston. So all in all, the Flames had a really good game. They controlled the neutral zone. Didn't really allow the Canucks to take a lot of offensive opportunities, and they were opportunistic. They took advantage of Canucks' mistakes. Whether that was a poor play by Besser, a giveaway by Besser, or a poor play on one of the other goals, the Kevin Ball goal that Tom Willander didn't do, or a center ice position playing out of position and not covering a player on the Igor Sharangovich. They took advantage of the opportunities that they had in front of them and deserved the 5-2 victory. For the Canucks, this is. I think if you're coming from the Canucks perspective here, this is a disappointing night. You had 2 nights off between your game on Thursday and after a really good game against the Dallas Stars, where you probably deserved a better fate than you had, to come out from this one on a weekend that the Golden Eyes make their debut and win. The Whitecaps win a exciting game against LAFC to get to the Western Conference Final. This city was ready to have, a perfect weekend, pardon me. And the Canucks really were mostly flat, disjointed, uninterested, and didn't play very well in all 3 areas and made some really bad decisions. We talked about the Brock Besser-Pettersson one. A couple of goals that I felt that Kevin Lankinen really missed out on, which it was the first one, and I think I would argue the third one. But there was Evander Kane takes another bad penalty. He does it again. This time it was in the second period. The Flames didn't score on the power play. They scored shortly after that. So this was at around the 16:31 mark. It's at, let me make sure I got this here. 10:37 was the time of that. Yeah, it was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty here. It was really needless for him to take it after the ball goal. Uh, again, loses momentum. Pettersson takes a needless delay a game penalty shortly after that. Yeah, the Canucks took all 3 penalties in the third period. And I really didn't think that their forward lines, the top 3, were really all that effective, to be honest with you. I want to stay on Kane for a second because I tweeted this. I think he's been arguably the Canucks' worst forward. Just for, and I don't really have expectations for Evander Kane. I've never been a big Evander Kane as a player fan. He's been very poor in his own end. He has taken some very bad penalties and very bad opportunities, and most of them have actually, I think, been in the offensive zone. I don't think he's been remotely effective offensively. I don't know what Evander Kane has really done at this point in time for me. I mean, sure, he laid a couple of hits tonight, but I don't think he's been truly effective for the most part. And really, I thought the team of the top 6 or top 6, 9 forwards, I didn't think all of them really had that great of a game. Didn't think Pettersson had that great of a game. Didn't think DeBrusk had that great of a game. I don't think DeBrusk has been all that great or consistent for the most part this year. Thought Connor Garland was quite quiet tonight as well. Really, the best forward for me tonight was Linus Karlsson. Linus Karlsson was the guy trying to make an effort for the Canucks in that fourth line. And Karlsson had a few opportunities. There was a couple of ones he went down Main Street to score. He missed a net on one of them. His totals tonight, although he was a -2, he had 2 shots on goal. He played 11-24. But honestly, I didn't mind his game tonight. I mean, you got what you got from Mackenzie McEachran. Kiefer Sherwood, I thought, also was quite quiet. Defensively, Quinn Hughes was outstanding. I think there were some people on the Canucks call-in show tonight in 650 that were asking why he played 30 minutes and 9 seconds. Is because you literally need to at this point. He's so fun to watch. He's a great player. It is, and you just saw that when he turned that on that goal, on the second goal of the night. He's just rolling along. It was just, you saw the height of what Quinn Hughes can absolutely do. He's a marvel to watch. He's a marvel to watch with the puck on the blue line. I mean, just outstanding at that point. I think Tom Wielander probably needs to have a little bit more time in Abbotsford. I don't quite think he's ready for regular NHL duty, but he's playing, and injuries are part of that reason. And EP25 didn't think was all that effective. He only played 829 tonight, by the way. So, and then Kevin Lankinen has a 762 save percentage. And yeah, it was not a good night. Not a good night for the Canucks overall. It's frustrating. And they were talking in the second intermission just about some of the defensive blunders that are going on, including pointing out the center ice position and how they're not in position. It just really feels like right now the Canucks are a bit of a disjointed team. So with the win, the Flames get their 3rd win of the year, and they passed the Predators last night, although the Predators have 3 games in hand. But now, with their 8-13-3 record and 3 wins in a row, they are only 1 point behind the Vancouver Canucks and the St. Louis Blues. The Canucks are 9-12-2 with three losses in a row, only 3 wins in their last 10. Calgary, by the way, is 5-4-1 in their last 10. So they are sitting with 20 points, and they are 5 points out of the wild card spot, which is currently held by Utah, but San Jose and Edmonton are also with 25 points. So both teams play on Wednesday. The Flames will go to Tampa Bay. The Canucks will go to Anaheim. I'll recap both of those games. To quickly look at the other games that were going on this tonight, on this Sunday night. The Minnesota Wild shut out the Winnipeg Jets 3-0. Remember, Connor Hellebuck is out of the lineup. The Seattle Kraken losing a shootout to the New York Islanders 1-0. The Colorado Avalanche win 1-0 over the Blackhawks. The San Jose Sharks, behind a good goaltending performance from Askarov, beat the Boston Bruins 3-1. So that's what happened elsewhere. We will be back on Tuesday to recap the Canucks week. And we will also be having a special announcement coming out this week as well. Of course, again, you can follow us, Shifts and Pucks, on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and listening. Should also mention, did do a recap of the Don Maloney interview on Saturday and gave my thoughts on a pretty disastrous week PR-wise for the Flames. And so have a listen to that. Make sure to listen also to the Fireside Podcast. Dan and Matt will be talking a little bit more about what they thought about that week, about Don Maloney and the week as well. So thank you again. We will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.